my mother, my birth mother, had to give me up for adoption when I was an infant, and so I never met any of my family members until I met. First, I met my mother in like 30. Was it 30 years ago? No, it was like 27 years ago. Trying to do the math in my head.
You want to say what that was like?
I can briefly say that what that was like because, well, it was, first of all, the adoption agency that mediated the adoption in the first place was Catholic Charities in Boston. And I had started to look for my birth mother. I wanted to try to find her, and I was lucky enough to find support with a woman who was working with Catholic Charities and had been working there for many years. And so when I contacted her, I told her I was interested in trying to find my birth mother, and she said, well, if you want to write a letter to her and give it to me, I can put it in your file, and I can let her know that that letter is here.
Wow. So they knew her name.
Oh yeah, they knew. Yeah, well, because they had mediated the adoption.
Yeah.
And adoptions at the time that I was adopted or given up for adoption were closed as a matter of course, legally. And so that meant that the adoptee and the birth parents could not find each other with any kind of ease at all in the kind of circumstance under which I was given up and legally transferred to the adoptive family.
When did you? My mother was adopted.
Yeah, mother was.
Somewhat traumatic for her. She wasn't told until she was 16.
That's kind of, yeah. I was a little kid when I first started to be told that I was adopted.
Yeah.
It wasn't hidden from me. It was.
So it kind of felt natural in some ways, or not?
Well, it was not something alien. My knowledge about it was. I mean, I can't remember not knowing.
Mm-hmm.
I just, it was always just a part of.
And did you feel any differently towards your parents?
I kind of did. I mean, in ways I did, but most in ways no. In some ways, yes. Like if I was angry with them about something, I would, kind of use. I would kind of use that to.
Such as you're not my real. Don't tell me what to do. You're not my real daddy.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. It was like a.
That could hurt. Yes.
Well, it could hurt. Yeah, but I also as an adopted child, as a child that was given up for adoption, there's a lot of hurt that you deal with. As well, a great deal of hurt. But
so you think that in some ways you were not welcome in the world? Yes.
I don't know how I would define the hurt, except that it was mostly a longing to know, who my real parents were.
Oh, I see. Even young.
Oh yeah.
Father and mother.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Why did they give me up? Blah blah blah. And it was something that really. I think that it's probably, I don't know, I haven't really talked to that many other adopted children or adult adoptees who've gone through this, but I did find out from a therapist who specialized in dealing with adoption issues that my feelings of feeling very alienated and fantasizing about who my real parents were.
What did you fantasize?
All kinds of stuff, like who are they? Oh, is my mother some famous person? You just your imagination go anywhere because you do not have any kind of information that grounds you at all. It's all this nebulous stuff that, my adoptive family was given practically no information at all because the system at those times was so strict about keeping adopted children and adoptive parents and birth parents from finding out anything about each other, because the system was designed to create this sense of a whole new reality. A whole new reality for the child and a whole new reality for the adoptive family. It was just very, very tightly controlled. So
But they kept the information though.
You really had no
They
idea.
didn't burn the information.
They what?
They kept the information. It was kept on file.
Well, there was certain things that were kept on file, and I don't know how much, was kept on file that I've never seen.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there was my birth mother had no way of finding out where I ended up. It would not be given to her.
Right.
The only way that anything ever transpired between her and myself was that I was just this incredibly wonderful stroke of luck that I was told, talk to this person at Catholic Charities.
Wow.
Talk to this person by name.
Yeah.
And I spoke with her. I wrote to her or I spoke to her on the phone, and she said, if you want to write a letter to your mother, write it and put it in an envelope and give it to me, and I will put it in your file and I will let her know that it is here.
Was she breaking the rules or?
I don't really know if she was breaking any legal, if she was committing any kind of anything that was illegal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just know that she was willing to, I will let her know it's here. She wants to come and, because I had initiated.
Yeah.
I initiated the contact. I asked, showing I wanted to know, and if she wanted to respond back, then something was going to happen.
And you were in your early 30s at this time?
I was 30. How old was I? 36. I was 36.
Right.
I was 36.
And why at that time did you want to do this?
Well, I had been in therapy for other reasons.
Yeah.
And I spent like several years in therapy about a few different things. And I really didn't talk about being adopted very much throughout my life. I really didn't talk about it that much. But this situation, like I had developed a great deal of trust with this therapist, and she said to me, if you want to talk about this with somebody who's a professional who deals specifically with issues of adoption, I can bring her on into one of our therapy sessions. And because I had started talking with my own therapist about the idea of searching. And that searching actually is a really huge issue, I think. I don't know how it is for other adoptees, but I know that for me, it was a loyalty thing to my parents, to my adoptive parents.
To not search.
To not search, to not really talk about going and searching. I just asked them, why was I given up for adoption? Where are they? Are they alive? What happened?
And they didn't know. Right?
They didn't know.
Right.
They did not know. Didn't know.
Were you a single child?
Well, I was. I was adopted by them, and they already had adopted a boy.
Oh, I see.
And he was 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
And so I grew up with him as my brother.
Yeah.
And his name was Tommy, and God rest his soul.
Well.
And so I was 36, and I had come to this turning point where I was ready to go ahead and explore the idea of searching, because my adoptive parents had both been deceased for a number of years.
Oh, before you, oh my.
And I felt that I was at a point now where I was no longer going to hurt their feelings.
Yeah, oh, I see.
I did not want, they were good parents to me.
Yeah.
They took care of me. I had everything I needed,
Wow.
pretty much. And, I just felt like, they'd passed away, they'd been gone for a long time, and it felt like it was okay.
Yeah.
I was going to do it. So when I gave this woman the information I wanted passed along to my mother, and it did not take long. I think it's such a long time ago now, but I think it was like maybe a couple of weeks or something.
Wow.
And this woman calls me and she says, your mother contacted, she came to pick up the letter that you, and I'm thinking, she came to pick up my letter.
Wow.
She came. Oh, she wants to, oh my God, she came. She wanted to know what I had to say, at least,
Yeah.
And she said, and so the woman says to me, her name was Mary. She says to me, your mother wants to call you. Is it all right if I give her your phone number? And I was like, she wants my phone number?
Wow.
She wants my phone number. Yes, give her my phone number. I want to talk to my mother. Wow. Can you imagine, after all those years, now my mother is going to call me on the phone. Wow. Oh, God. I'm really glad that I can sit here and express how exciting that was
No, I
for
can
me.
feel it. I can feel it.
Because I'm sitting here on camera, I'm sitting here on live TV, and I can just say that. That's great. It feels really good to be able to expose that. But anyway, so my mother did call me. She called me on my 36th birthday. On my birthday. And she knew she was calling
Wow.
me. She knew she was calling me on my birthday. I don't think she's going to forget my birthday.
Wow.
March 27th. But anyway, yes, I'm in Aries. So anyway, when it was really weird, Michael, it was so weird when she called me. Because here's this person. I don't know you. You're my mother. 36 years old. Hi, Mom. Hello, Beth. This is your mother.
Wow, is that what she said? Wow.
Something like that.
Wow.
This is your mother, Mary. Her name was Mary. Is Mary. She's 85. She's still alive.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of dumbfounded. I don't even remember what I said to her. I just was the feeling was just I never met you before, and you're telling me you are my mother. What? It's the strangest feeling. And I have talked with other adoptees who've gone through a similar kind of thing because they don't know the person, they don't know this person, and this is your mother or this is your father. It's just I never met my father. I never got a chance to meet him. He passed away before I started to look for him. But yeah, it was really weird feeling, really weird. But also this, it feels like here's a door is opening. It's being opened to me, and I'm now, this door opens. And now maybe you can get your shizzle up to step through that door and see what's going to happen. And there's certain amount of detail that just eludes me now partly because the whole thing was so freaky and such a freaky experience and so just fraught with feelings and questions and stuff that it's hard for me to remember really clear details about what transpired over the next few weeks. But basically we had a couple of other phone conversations, And she also put me on the phone to talk with one of my other siblings, and I think it was David, and we really didn't talk much. He didn't have a whole lot to say, because he's a lot younger than me, because let's see, I think when I started having contact with her, I was 36, and I had 6 brothers and sisters.
You didn't know that, but you.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
How could I know that?
Right.
I mean, my parents didn't even know what my mother's name was, let alone that she had 6 other kids. She got married to this other guy, Stanley was his name, and she had 6 kids. And my last sibling from her was born when I was 19 years old. It's like I was almost old enough to be my youngest sibling's mother.
Yeah, you were old.
Almost, right? Well, my mother was 20 when she had me. Right? 20 years old. And, yeah. So I found out, I did find out that I had all these siblings, 2 brothers and 4 sisters.
Wow.
And now I found out later that when they all found out about me, they were all dying to meet me. They wanted to meet me. Okay? And there was something that happened. I'm still not sure what it was, and I don't know if any of my brothers and sisters really knows the story, but Mom kind of freaked out, and she made up a story about why she was breaking it off.
Between you and her?
Yep.
Wow.
And she didn't want me to have anything to do with any of the other kids in the family. She didn't want me to call. She didn't want me to write to anybody.
And she didn't give you any reason?
Well, she did, but I'm not going to even bother to say what the reason was,
Okay.
because it's kind of makes her look stupid, and I don't want that. I don't want it to look like that with her, because I think the reason why she cut it off was because it was just too much to deal with the way that she had to give me up, and some of the stuff that happened between her and my birth father. There were some things that happened that were not good, and that made it very difficult for her to deal with, having to give me up and stuff, and it was not good. And I think also, because when we actually did meet each other, because we did actually have one meeting,
Well,
she said to me, "You look like your father." And I think that because I look like him,
that reminded her.
probably hit right where you live.
Wow.
Right where you live. I mean, I don't really know how much my surmise of this.
That must have been
how
super
close it
hard.
is.
And
It was horrible.
again rejected again by her. Wow.
It was really, really awful.
Wow.
It was awful. It was horrible. And I was angry. I think that, over time, I've developed a lot more emotional intelligence, I think, where I can, look at this and go, she freaked out probably because, you look like him, and it reminded her of the bad shit that happened with him that led to her having to give, just like,
Yeah.
I don't, that's probably maybe not the whole, that's
But
probably
some
not,
things are sometimes just too hard to handle.
they're too hard to handle.
They
Yeah,
really are.
yeah. And now it's like, every now and then she'll say to me now, "I'm sorry," but she won't tell me what really
Wow.
happened. And I think she can't talk about it. I think she doesn't want to. I think she just wants to have me.
So somehow because we're a television audience, so we only have 4 more minutes.
Yeah.
How did you get back with her?
The way that I got back with Mama. Okay, I see. Okay, see the time there. From the time that she broke it off with me, and I kind of recovered recouped myself, I spent the next, literally, 26 years doing a little bit of detective work here and there and wherever I could. Detective work. I put my little Scorpio ascendant and Virgo moon to some good use. And I'm, as you can tell, I'm extremely persistent. I don't give up when I really want something. But let me tell you something, Michael. This kind of thing, this kind of experience of being adopted and wanting to know who your parents are, it grips you and it doesn't let go.
Wow.
It does not let go. It's like you may like subsume it, but it's always down there. It's always gripping you and it won't let go. And when I finally was able to get back with her,
Which is how?
it was because I connected with my brother Roy
Oh, because you figured out
through LinkedIn.
Oh.
I got the idea. I knew what his name was, and I kind of knew where he lived.
Yeah.
And I went and looked at LinkedIn. Let me see if he's on LinkedIn. Bingo. He was on LinkedIn. There's nobody with a name like that. Has a kind of a, different name. It's not like there's a million of them out there on the planet. He's probably one of 3. But it's like, there he's in Braintree. Okay, that's him. So I approached it as, I see the time, I approached it as like, oh, he doesn't know who I am, but I want to try to see if I can get some kind of connection going that's like really, not too personal. But like, I was looking for a job, and so was he. And I thought, okay, I'm a job seeker. Hey, I've got some of the same background as you. If I've got some connections that might help you, I'll pass them on to you. If you'll pass connections on to me that you think might fit me. And I gave him my resume and stuff so he could see my resume. What my name was.
Yeah.
Right? And so we started this kind of like friendly job buddies connection thing. And his sisters, my half-sisters, they knew from my mother, they knew that what my name was.
Wow.
They knew. And they had searched for me before, after the breakup happened. And they said, Roy, that's our sister.
Wow.
That's our sister. So, that's how it happened. We start, he asked me, he goes, are you my sister? He sent me a LinkedIn, linked mail. And I thought, oh, how did he figure it out? I didn't know. How did he figure it out? He figured it out. Oh, good. Now how do I answer him? I've been trying to be so cool all the time. And I went, literally, I typed, yes, I am. I just said that to
Now we
him.
still have 45 seconds. How did you then meet your mother?
Finally, after Roy and I started talking on the phone and exchanging emails and stuff, I decided that I was going to call her. So I did.
Oh,
I called her, and we started talking.
Yeah.
We started talking, and then eventually we met again in March of this year.
Oh, this year for the first time?
Again, for the first time.
Wow.
Yeah, for the second time, 27 years later.
Stay tuned for our next installment of this fascinating tale of how they're getting on, and you met your other brothers and sisters.
And actually, I'll bring my mom on.
Oh yes, great, thank you.